Do you feel like you're planning a new project and this lasts forever, never get into execution? Stop planning, start validating. A product owner last week came to me and said that he had this new project that he was working on, and he had been working on this for months, creating a list of all the possible requirements, all the different functionalities, all the different features that the new product had to incorporate. And after all this time in creating this long list of requirements, he said, I feel stuck. I don't know how to execute on this project. I don't know where to start. It's just so big. What this product owner was talking about, he was talking about execution. Everybody, if you are a product owner, you like to build. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing the job, right? We all like to build new products, new solutions, and so on. The problem with execution is that sometimes we get stuck in planning. We spend so much time in planning, and then we don't get to the real execution. Now, I would like to see where that is coming from. Let's take this example. Your stakeholder or your boss comes to you and says, hey, Valerio, I would like for you to work on this next idea, build this thing next, this product. And your mind goes, okay, let me do that. Let me go into execution. Now, really two options, two things typically happen. The first one is that you take the marching orders and you go and execute the idea as it was given to you. Basically, you do no validation. Was the idea even the right thing to build? The second option is that you stop and instead of going into execution, you go into planning. Let me plan this and let me think about all the possible use cases. Let me think about all the requirements. Let me create a long list. I want to make sure I build the right thing here. So I'm creating a long list of requirements and I want to get transparency and approval from somebody to tell me, yes, this is the right list of requirements. What you're doing here, you're really substituting validating or validation for like a committee approval for the idea. Let's look instead at what you should be doing. And this really comes down to the main responsibility of the product owner. Because if you think about it, the job of the product owner, when you really distill that job to one main responsibility, that responsibility is to make sure that you build the right product. It's not about planning. It's not about delivering the product on time. It's not about building the product in the right way or following the right process. All of these are important. In order to be able to launch a successful product, you need to plan, you need to follow the right process, you need to build it in the right way. I get it, right? But a lot of different people can do any one of these steps. But where we need the product owner really to be focused and really to bring their contribution is, are we building the right product? And then we know if you're building the right product, we need to validate. Validate if we are delivering outcomes. So instead of planning, start by understanding what outcomes your customers need to get from your product or your solution. What do they expect to get? What are their needs? What are their problems that they expect to solve with your problem, with your product? What does the business need to see in terms of outcomes? So consider asking yourself these three questions. The first one, what outcomes are the customers looking for from us? The second question, is our solution delivering these outcomes? And third, if not, how do we pivot so that we can find another solution, something better? And of course, you want to answer these questions as soon as possible, as early in the process as possible, maybe even as often as possible. So every time you have a new idea, a new feature, something new you want to build with your product, ask yourself these questions. So instead of jumping into execution or jumping into planning and then spending a lot of time in planning going nowhere, jump into validation. Figure out the outcomes, figure out if the idea you're thinking about will deliver those outcomes or not, validate with your customers, and then if everything works fine, start building. So next time your boss comes to you and she says, hey, I want you to work on this idea, now you know your answer should be, great, thank you, I'll start working on it. And the first thing I want to do is I'm gonna do some discovery activities and I want to validate if this idea will deliver the right outcomes for our customers. Stop planning and start validating.